I almost took my coffee with me. Like I'm going just like, woo, for out for the day. Okay, so we are, good morning. We're gonna start in a standing position, facing our chair. And if you have a yoga block, if you're working from the YouTube video later on, if you have a yoga block, we're gonna use one yoga block in our practice today. And just kind of place it on the floor a little out of the way for a second. We're just gonna tune in, take a second to center and ground. So facing the tall side of your chair with your feet nice and even on the ground, just let your hands touch the tall side of the chair. You don't need to grip or hold on tight, but just a light touch. So you can just get a little sensory feedback, feel your hands connected to the chair. Get a sense of the solidness of the chair and the floor beneath the chair. If it feels okay to do so, close your eyes down so you can just really tune in here. But if it doesn't feel comfortable or safe to close your eyes down, then you'll just soften your gaze. Maybe stare at a little point on the floor and just allow your eyes to focus on one little point so that you can tune into the physical body. So as you start to find this little sense of quiet stillness here in this standing position, notice your hands touching the chair, notice your feet touching the floor, and then see if you can draw a line from the tops of your fingertips, up your arms, over your shoulders, down through the back of the body. So tracing that line, go down your back, upper back, middle back, low back, over your bum, down the backs of your thighs, down your calves, follow that line down through your heels, and then get a sense of the soles of your feet. And then notice what parts of your feet are touching the floor. So if you have fallen arches, there might be a lot of your feet that are touching the floor. And if you have higher arches, you might notice that there are parts of your feet that aren't touching the floor and parts of your feet that are. So just see if you can kind of get a sense of that connection to the floor. And then eyes closed or open, that'll be totally up to you, but we're going to keep a gentle handhold on the chair. And we're just going to start to find a little sway forward and back. So we're going to bring the weight forward into the balls of the feet and the toes, and then lean back into the heels just a little bit. It doesn't need to be extreme, but we just want to feel that light transfer of weight moving forward and moving back. Take one more time forward and back, and then see if you can find that middle position. So not extremely into the toes and the balls of the feet and not extremely into the heels. And then once you've found that position, then we're going to start a little gentle sway side to side. So you're just going to move slightly to the left and slightly to the right. Nice. Take one more little sway side to side. And then see if you can find that middle point. So not too far forward, not too far back, not too far to the left or to the right. Find that middle ground. And then we're just going to tune back into the feet. So you're going to push into the big toes and imagine that you're pulling your big toes back towards your heels. So you're going to get that nice little lift in the arch. And then you're going to relax the arches of your feet. And then again, push into the big toes pull back towards the heels so the arch lifts and engages. And then as you release, maybe you let out an exhale. And then we're going to do that again. Inhale, pull up the arches, pull the big toe towards the heel, exhale and soften. And then find that nice lifted sensation from the soles of the feet, but not gripping into the feet. So we want to find a light active lift in the soles of the feet. And then once you feel like you found it, we're going to start to pedal the legs. So we're just going to bend one heel, bend one knee, pick up the heel, and then the other. So you'll now transfer your weight slightly onto one leg and then the other. And then just start to get a sense of how your feet feeling, how your ankles feeling. And then you might choose to stay in this lower position, especially if your ankles or your feet are feeling a little mischievous this morning. But if things are feeling good, then you're going to take it into a more uplifted position. So you're going to meet at the top. So we're going to keep both heels lifted, push one heel down, meet at the top, push the other heel down. Only if that feels like a good position to be in. If it feels better to stay in that lower grounded level, stay there and do the work there. Nice. Take one more bop of the heels, one side and then the other. And then set both heels down, come back to that center position, take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then before we move away from this place, take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Beautiful. And then with that intention set, eyes open, we're going to shift our weight slightly over onto our left foot and slide the right foot back so we get a little mini lunge. And then we're going to start to roll through the foot. So we're going to push back into the heel, roll over onto the top of the foot so the toenails press into the earth and you get a little stretch into the top of the ankle. And then we're going to roll through, push back into the heel, a little stretch to the Achilles heel and the calf, roll through and stretch the ankle and the top of the foot. Nice. And just take a few more times, finding a nice gentle rhythm. So most of your weight is in your standing leg as you transfer from heel and roll onto the top of the foot. Beautiful. Now, the next time you push back into the heel, stay there for an extra second. Maybe plant your hands in your chair, lift your chest, lift your gaze, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift that foot up, step it in, and we're going to take it to the other side. So left foot's going to step back. We're going to find that mini lunging position, but most of the weight is in your standing leg, and then we're going to roll through the foot. So roll over onto the tops of the toenails, and then roll back and push into your heel. And then find a little rhythm there. Move at a pace that feels right to you and a depth that feels right to you. Beautiful. Now, the next time you push back into that heel, stay there. Maybe allow the heel to find the floor. Lift your chest, lift your gaze, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then we're going to soften just a little bit and just think about stepping that front leg back. So we find a little down dog position here. So making a V shape with the body. Arms reach nice and long on the chair. And then just because we haven't really woken up the hamstrings and the backs of the legs, keep a soft, gentle, mindful bend in the legs. So knees are nice and bent. Allow that V shape to happen from the hip crease. Arms reach nice and long. Let your chest drop down. Let your head drop down. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, look up, walk yourself forward, and then we're going to see if we can do this hands-free. So sometimes in life, you got to do things with your feet because your hands are either otherwise engaged. So we're going to try to see if we can do this hands-free. And if not, if you have to bend down and use your hands, that's totally fine. But if you can, you're going to find your yoga block and you're going to try to arrange your yoga block on the lowest setting. So nice and flat on the ground. And then you're going to walk that yoga block right in between your ankles. And then we're going to find a little squeeze. So we want to walk the feet in nice and tight, feel your ankles connected to the yoga block, hands on the chair. And now we're going to sit into a light little chair position. So keep that little squeeze in the ankles, sit your butt down and back, and then push into your feet and rise up. Exhale, sink into your seat just a little bit, keeping that light little squeeze on the yoga block, and then push into your feet to rise up. Nice. One more just like that. Sit your butt down just a little bit. Feel that squeeze on your ankles and then push into your feet and rise up. Beautiful. Now shift your weight over to your left foot. We're going to pick the right foot up and turn the knee outward to the side. Toes and the balls of the foot are going to find the yoga block. So think tree position here. So the knee is turned out. The toe and the ball of the foot are on the block. Lift nice and tall. Keep one hand on the chair. And then if you can, left hand is going to reach up alongside your ear and find a nice tall reach through the fingertips. And then if it feels good, if you feel nice and steady and stable here, extend your other arm up as well. But if that starts to make you feel unstable, bring the hand down. We want to find that connection. Feeling your inner thighs engage. Abdominals firm just a little bit so you feel centered here. Take one more breath. If your hands are up and overhead, go ahead and release them to the chair and then step the right foot off, hug against that yoga block, both ankles squeezing in, sink into a little chair pose, butt comes down and back, push into your feet and rise up. Sink back into your chair. Inhale and rise up. One more time, exhale, sink into your chair. Inhale, rise up, nice, and then shift your weight over to your right foot. Left toe and ball of the foot are gonna find the block. You're gonna turn that knee out so it's an external rotation. Feel that connection, and then start to zip up through the inner thighs. Get nice and tall here. Left hand on the chair, right hand's gonna reach up alongside your ear. See if you can keep and maintain a little balance. If you're feeling stable and it feels right to do so, left hand is gonna reach up as well. If that feels unstable, bring that hand back down to the chair. Take one more moment here. Beautiful. And then bring your hands down to the chair, step that foot off. And now we're going to play around. Can you do this hands free? Can you flip the yoga block? So now it's on the medium setting. So it's going to get a little taller here. And now we're going to come back to shifting our weight onto the left foot, turn the right foot out. And we're going to go just a little bit faster here. So find that engagement first. Right hand on the chair, left hand reaches up. Firm up your belly. If it feels good to do so, reach the other hand up. Take one good breath. Nice. Float your hands down to the chair. Step that right foot off. Rearrange. Step the left foot onto the yoga block. Turn out the knee. And then once you feel like you're there, right hand reaches up. Find your stability. And then if it feels good to do so, left hand reaches up as well. Take one good breath. Beautiful. Float your hands down, step that left foot off. And then one more time, if you can, hands free, you're going to rearrange that block so it comes into the tallest setting and it's right between your ankles. Once you found your way there, shift your weight onto your right foot, left foot onto the block, turning the knee out, and then just notice here. So this might already have gone too far for you. This might be too much range of motion. This might be a little too high, and it might feel really unstable. If that's the case, flip it back down to a lower setting. But if it feels comfortable to be here, one hand on the chair, one hand reaches up. And then when you feel ready, reach the other arm up as well. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Float your hands down to the chair, lift that foot with control off of the block, set your foot down, and then we're going to take it to the other side. Shift your weight over, big toe and the ball of the foot on the chair with the knee in an external rotation, only as far as feels good, and then check in. We might have a little imbalance here. This might not be a good position for this side. So if it's not, you're going to flip it down to the lower setting. If all is feeling good, one hand reaches up, firm up your abdomen. Other hand reaches up as well. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, hands float down, step that foot off with control. And now we're going to flip that block, hands free if you can, flip that block back to its lowest setting on a wide position so that you could step your foot on safely. So we want to make sure it's nice and flat on the ground and it's working the length of your foot. So once you've got your way there, right foot's going to step on, left foot's going to lift off the ground. Bend your knee, set your left foot down and switch. Right foot steps down, left foot onto the block, push into the block, lift off. Beautiful. Bend the standing knee, float the foot down and switch. So we're going to take that a few times side to side, stepping up onto the block, releasing and switching over to the other side, finding just a little bit of work in the quadriceps and the tops of the knees. And then once you've got that down, if you had to look down at the block to find it, locate it, and then know that you had an even stance, now that you know what you're doing, can you keep your gaze lifted without looking down at the block? Can you tune into your proprioception? Where are you connected to the block, connected to the space that you're working in? And then if you're like me, you might accidentally kick and flip your block, so reset it. Awesome. Now, the next time your left foot steps onto the block, stay in that upright lifted position. You're going to keep left hand on the chair, right hand's going to find the hip. We're going to keep our standing leg as straight as you can. So the standing leg is just standing. Now we're going to work out of the hip. So we're going to drop the foot down past the edge of the block so the hip drops down, but notice my standing leg didn't bend or anything, and then hike the hip up. So we're working through the hips. Drop the foot down and then hike your hip up. Use the chair to offer you support. Hand on the hip is just so you can find that movement of the hip, but the standing leg stays straight. But if it feels better to have both hands on the chair, just keep that hip lifting up and down, but the standing leg stays straight. Beautiful. One more up and down here. And then when you're ready, step that foot down and we'll switch to the other side. Right foot onto the block, hand to the hip if that feels like a way to tune in, but we're dropping the foot down and hiking the hip up. So we're moving out of the hip joint, but the standing leg stays nice and straight. Beautiful. One more up and down. And then when you're ready, step that foot down, step both feet off the block, back to your downward facing dog. Walk your feet back into that nice little V shape. And this time, legs as straight as feels comfortable. So tune in and notice. Now that you've done a little bit of work in the legs, you might feel a little bit of gumminess in the backs of the legs, but it might still be tight. So if it is, keep a gentle bend in the knees. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, soften your knees, lift your gaze, walk yourself forward. And then if you like, just move your block out of the way. We might come back to it if we have time in a seated position, but for right now, just scooch it out of the way. We're gonna come into a warrior two position from here. So we're gonna start by stepping the right leg back nice and far, or as far as feels comfortable to you, but keep a little bit of a lift in that back heel so that we can rotate. So the heel is gonna pivot and the toes are gonna turn out and you're gonna let your hips rotate with you. So hips are turned out to the side. Once you've found all of that, you're going to think about pushing gently into that front leg. So the front leg, foot is actively engaged, inner thigh is engaged. And then once you feel like you're there, you might opt to keep your hand on the chair just to offer a little stability and reach your other hand straight out from the shoulder. But if all is feeling good, legs are strong, side body feels stable, then you might choose to extend the other hand as well. Reaching straight out from the shoulders, looking past your front hand or your left hand. Take a nice big breath. Nice. And then if it feels good to do so, you're going to take it into a peaceful warrior. Right hand's going to touch down to the thigh. Left hand is going to flip. So palm is facing inward, and then find a gentle side bend here. Reaching up energetically through the fingertips, looking up at your hand. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, with control, release that hand back down. We're going to pick up that back heel so it pivots and rotates. Both hands on the chair, hop that foot forward, and then we're going to take it to the other side. Step your left leg back just as far as you can. Keep a little looseness in that back heel so we can pivot the heel, dropping the heel down and let the hips follow with you. So hips rotate out to the left, hand on the chair if that feels right. Maybe your left hand extends out straight from the shoulder. If you're feeling like everything's stable, we're pushing into that front foot so that front leg is active and engaged, nice and strong. And then maybe you reach your right hand out as well, gaze past your right hand and take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then take it into peaceful warrior if that feels good. So that means left hand's going to touch the thigh, right hand is going to flip, palm facing inward. Find a little side bend here. Looking up towards your hand if that's available, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly with control, release. And then we're going to rotate, pivot that back heel, step that foot in, and then give everything a nice little bounce. From here, we're going to start to find our way into a seated position. So move your chair or move yourself, whichever feels like a better way to go. And if you like, take your block just so it's within reach. Awesome. And then as you come into your chair, just scoot your booty forward so that it's coming towards the front end of the chair and you got a little bit of room to move. We're going to take it right into some windshield wipers. So if you're working in a chair that has fabric or cushion, you might not get as much range of motion. You might have to hold on and just swish the knees. But if you can let your whole butt swivel with you, go as far with the movement as your chair and your body will allow. Awesome. Take one more time each side or just even yourself out and then bring it back to center, but step your feet so that it's a nice wide configuration with the legs. We're going to just grab hold of the knees. Think about lifting the belly up and over, lean your heart forward just a little bit, and then take a moment, notice your low back. Push into your knees, lift up nice and strong. And then we're going to do that again. Anchor into your feet, lean your heart forward. So we're hinging from the waist. Tune in, notice your low back. Use your hands, push into your knees, Strong back, lift yourself back up. Beautiful. One more time, lean yourself forward. And then this time, if it feels good, you're going to release your hands, walking them right in between your legs. Let your hands drop down towards the ground and then soften just a little bit deeper into that fold. Only go as far as feels comfortable. You should be breathing comfortably here, noticing your low back, softening the back of your neck. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly lift up just a little bit so that you can walk your hands back up to your knees and then push into your knees. Lift yourself up nice and strong and then toe heel your feet in so that they're about hip width distance apart. Now we're going to floss the leg. So we're going to grab hold the back of the left leg, pick that leg up, and then we're going to kick the leg, flex the foot, lift your chin. And then soften everything down, tuck your chin slightly. Kick your leg, flex the foot, lift your chin. Soften the leg and tuck your chin slightly. Kick your foot, lift your chin, and soften, tuck the chin in. Nice. 2 more just like that. Move at a rhythm that feels right to you. Last one. And then when you're ready, release that foot down. We're going to take it to the other side. So we're going to pick the leg up, get a little basket weave so your arms are doing the heavy lifting. And then away we go. Inhale, lift up, flex the foot, lift your chin. Exhale and soften it down. Inhale, lift up, flex the foot, lift your chin. Exhale to soften down. Beautiful. 3 more times here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Nice. Last one. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release. We're going to come back to that left leg. We're going to pick the leg up. Arms are going to do the heavy lifting. We're going to take that knee, draw it in nice, big, generous circles, go in one direction. And then take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then keep it in a more central, neutral location. And we're just going to do a little swing of the foot. So let it just hinge from the knee. Now the head stays neutral, back is nice and tall. And we're just moving out of the knee joint best we can. Take one more little swing of that foot. And then set that foot down, take it to the other side. Pick that leg up, let your arms do the heavy lifting. Nice, big, generous circle, move that knee around. Beautiful. And then take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then bring that knee back to that neutral position and then just that little swing of the foot. So that little hinge from the knee. Beautiful. One more little hinge from that knee and then set that foot down, both feet nice and even on the ground and find a nice tall upright posture. We're going to take the left hand, reach up, pat yourself on the back, release and take it to the other side. Right hand's going to reach up, pat yourself on the back. And then we're just going to take a few more times going each side. So alternate, pat yourself on the back, just reaching between the shoulder blades and releasing, and then taking it over to the other side. Beautiful. Nice. Take one more time each side. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch and we're going to scratch our back. So we're going to reach the hand up in between the shoulder blades and release, and then reach your other hand up in between the shoulder blades and release. And we're going to take that a few times each side, just moving at a pace that works good for you. And just make sure you're being mindful. So only go as far as your range of motion works. And then you might find it increases as you gain a little gumminess in the muscles. So just go as far as feels right and no further. So we don't want to injure ourselves. Beautiful. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. Nice. And then when you're ready, toe heel your feet out to about shoulder width distance apart. We're going to take it right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee. Left hand is going to find the back of the chair. You might choose low side of the chair or tall side of the chair. That'll just depend on you and your chair. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release, take it over to the other side. Catching hold of your knee, catching the back of the chair, tall side or low side, that's totally up to you. Take one more breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, release, come back to center, toe heel your feet so they're about hip width distance apart, and find your seated mountain pose, pressing evenly and firmly into the feet, lifting energetically up through the crown of your head. Inhale, raise your arms up and look up. Exhale, we're going to forward fold. So think about lifting the heart, diving forward. Inhale to a half forward fold, hands glide to the shins. Exhale to soften down, pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through the spine. Think one vertebrae at a time. And then as you come up, roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back. Back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale, we're going to soften back down. And this time, think about pushing firm into your feet. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, glide the shoulders down, firm up your belly, and then take the arms up and overhead. Nice. Take a gentle side bend one way. Keep your sits bones nice and anchored in the chair. Come back to center. Take a side bend the other way. Beautiful. Come back to center. Unlace your fingers, float your hands down, roll your shoulders around, down and back. And then away we go. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right hand's going to find the left shin. Left hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Release that hand down. We're going to slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, bring your nose to your knee. Nice. And then we're going to extend that leg out nice and long. So kick that leg forward, flex the foot. Inhale, reach up, think belly up and over. And as you exhale, reach towards your foot. Does not matter if you touch your foot. We just want to find a little stretch through the back of the leg, maybe in the hamstring. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, soften everything, draw it back up and in. Find your mountain pose again. Both feet nice and firm on the ground. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left hand finds the right shin. Right hand reaches up to the sky. Beautiful. Release that hand down. We slide up the shin. Bring the knee to the chest. Bring your nose to your knee. And then release that leg nice and long. Kick it forward. Flex the foot. Reach your right arm up. Think up and over as you exhale. Reach towards your foot. When you're ready, nice and easy, slide it all back up and in. Find your mountain pose again. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right hand finds the left shin. Left hand reaches up to the sky. Release that hand down. We're going to slide up the shin. Bring the knee to the chest. Bring your nose to your knee. And now we're going to take this into a figure four. So hold your knee, hold your heel, turn the knee out just a little bit, rock that leg like a baby. If it's available, you're going to bring your figure four across the thigh. If that doesn't work for you, you have options here. You can take it across the ankle. You can use your block placed at your ankle and use your block to bring the floor up to meet you. And then you can rearrange your block at any height that feels appropriate to you. So find your figure four that works the best for you. And then once you found your way there, think about lifting through the front of the body, hinging from your waist, and lean your heart forward just to a point that feels good. We want a nice sensation in the outer edges of the hip, maybe in your glutes, but if anything is zinging you in the knees, you might need to lighten up or readjust. So take a second to just tune in, notice how your body feels. Take one more breath. Awesome. Lift up through the crown of your head. Let your heart follow. We're going to gently lift that leg off wherever it is. Set it down onto the ground, back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left hand finds the right shin. Right hand reaches up to the sky. Release that hand down. We slide up the shin. Bring the knee to the chest. Bring your nose to your knee. And then we take that figure four to the other side. So we're going to hold the knee, hold the heel, externally rotate the knee, rock the leg a little side to side. Beautiful. And then your variation of figure four. So you might choose to take it across the thigh. You might choose to take it across the ankle or any other step on that block that feels right to you. And then once you found the position that feels good, hinge from your waist, lean your heart forward, come to a depth that feels right to you. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly lift up from the top of the head. Let your heart follow. Gently lift that leg up and off from wherever it is. Take a second, swish out both of those knees. And then before we come, we're going to finish with our Shavasana. Suggested Shavasana is going to be down on the ground, but you might choose to stay in your chair. That'll be totally up to you. But before we come down, we're going to use our block for the greater good. So we're going to take our block, place it right between the knees. Skinniest setting. We're going to push the knees in, feel that little bit of squeeze, engaging those hip stabilizer muscles, hold that squeeze, and then release. Push your knees into the block, hold that little squeeze, and then release. And then do that one more time. Push your knees into the block, hold that bit of squeeze, and then release. Nice. And then we're going to shift so that we can pick the left heel up and swing it out, hold it up just a little bit, and then release. Lift the heel out to the side, hold that position, and then release. Nice. One more time, just like that. Lift the heel up and out to the side, hold that lifted position. Beautiful. And then release. Set that foot down and we're going to take it to the other side. So we lift that heel out to the side, hold that position. Nice. And release. And then we'll do it again. Lift the heel out to the side, hold that position, and release. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Lift it out to the side, hold that position. Woo! And then release. Nice. Grab your block, let your knees go, give them a little swish around, and then maybe move your ankles, move anything that needs a little shaking out. Beautiful. And now we're going to find our way down to the ground so we can put our legs over the chair, thinking of a variation of legs up the wall. So if you are happy seated in your chair and you want to take your Shavasana there, do your thing. But if it feels good to do so, you're going to take the chair so that the low side is facing you. And just as a little tutorial for anyone who might have need a little extra help coming down onto the ground. If you have your yoga block, you're going to use your chair and your yoga block as your little assist. So you're going to bend your knees, one hand on the chair, one block on the ground, and you're going to use that as your support system so that you can step one knee down onto the ground and then maybe the other. If you have any knee things going on, if you have knee replacement and putting your knees down on the ground is not an option for you, then you're going to keep your knees lifted and you're going to step your feet. Use your arms to help control so you can set your butt down onto the ground and come down in a way that's controlled and works good for your body. Once you've got your butt down onto the ground, we're going to scooch the butt way forward, as close to the chair as you can get it, and then swing your legs up and over the chair. Take your time to find your way here. Once you've got yourself in a comfortable position, rearrange your feet, rearrange your legs, rearrange your shoulder blades, your tailbone, make sure everything feels good and happy. And then allow a little soft heaviness to come in. Let your legs become soft and heavy in the chair. Let your hips and your low back become soft and heavy on the ground. Arms in whatever position works good for you. So maybe anatomical position, about 45 degrees away from the body with the palms facing up. Maybe you choose to rest your hands on your belly or any other place that works good for you. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Become aware of the chair underneath your legs. Become aware of the floor beneath your body. If it feels good to do so, turn your head gently side to side just to bring some gentle movement into the cervical spine and massage out the back of your head. And then as you start to reawaken, maybe start to move your wrists, move your ankles, any other little gentle bit of movement that feels good. You might even choose to step your feet a little closer to the edge of your chair and find some little windshield wipers here just to soothe the low back. And then when you feel good and ready, you're going to start to find your way up to a seated position. Now, if it's comfortable to do so, you can just stay in a seated position, on the ground. But if it feels better to come up into your chair, you're going to do the version that works good for you. So take a second to find your way there. And just as coming down onto the floor, if you used your block as an assistant, you're going to use your block to come back up. So you choose the variation that's going to work good for you. And then once you found a seat that's going to work, take a second to find a nice tall uplifted spine, let your shoulders soften down, and then maybe close your eyes for a moment here. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. The hand that's on the belly, bring it up and stack it right on top of the hand that's on the heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. We're going to take 3 nods of the head here. So keeping your hands on your heart, a little bit of a press onto the skin of your chest. As you inhale, lift your chin upward towards the sky. And as you exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down. Beautiful. Take one more breath. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down or bow your head to your heart. Pausing here for a moment, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Take another big inhale, and as you exhale, let your shoulders soften your jaw, and think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your day. And then when you're ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.